Hi guys, so today we're going to talk about sugar cravings and everything to do with sugar. I know that sugar cravings are something that a lot of people struggle with, and including myself, my friends, my family, my clients. It's pretty real, and it's difficult to navigate through because 4 o'clock hits and you want your piece of sugar, and then you want more and you want more before you go to sleep. And we've all been victims to having one bite, and then before we know it, the cake is finished or the box of cookies are finished, or we can't go to sleep until it's done. And I have definitely been there. And the thing about sugar is that it is like a drug. It does have addictive components to it in exactly the same way that drugs do. It works on the neurotransmitters in your brain that are meant to addict you. So you want more and you want more. And I think that it's really sad when people associate their sugar habits with feeling ashamed of it, or like they can't lose weight because they have no self-control. So it really doesn't have anything to do with self-control. They're chemically engineered and designed to make you want to crave more in the same way as drugs, and so that it sort of starts to spiral into something that's really beyond people's conscious awareness. But I think the first step to battling the sugar addiction, the cravings, is to become aware and to understand what's going on, to understand where the sugar really is, because it's not just in the cookie or the pancake that you're buying out, or the muffin, or in the form of table sugar. It's really in a lot of our foods, and I think that being aware and being conscious of what we're buying, and the fact that sugar is kind of creeping in places that we would never expect. You're buying your kids maybe chicken nuggets or fish fingers, and if you look at the back on the ingredients, sugar is going to be in there. It's in your pizza sauce or tomato sauce. It's in so many of our potato chips. It's in our bread, and I actually took this to show you guys. It's 100% whole grain, nature's own bread. And then when you look at the ingredient list, which is like 60 items, bread should not be 60 items. Like, real fresh bread is like made of 3 or 4 things. So this has sugar as its 3rd ingredient, and sugar again as its 5th, and like 8th and 10th, and there's a lot of sugar in there. So just being mindful and being aware and understanding where the sugar is, so that we can take the next step into trying to change little habits that we have in kind of geared towards eating a little bit more of a whole food approach. So if you want the fish, eat the fish, make the fish sticks at home, but not buy the pre-frozen fish sticks that have the sugar in it. If you want bread, try to look for better breads that are a little bit more fresh. Typically, bread shouldn't last on the counter for more than a day or 2 without going spoiled, and you have to freeze it. These breads that all have the preservatives and the sugars in them can last a year, and it's stuff that you're eating and you're feeding your children. So if you want the vegetables, eat vegetables. Don't get the veggie chips because those have sugar too. If you want, just stick to a little bit more of a whole foods approach, and that'll really help eliminate a lot of the sugar that we are eating. Brown rice, buckwheat, different kashas, different vegetables, beans, all of these things, are great. They're whole food. There's so many different options, whether you're eating animal products, eggs, meat, anything. But a lot of the prepackaged stuff, it is important to just at least read. It doesn't all have it, but now understanding that it likely does, and sugar is in those ingredients. So just always kind of looking in the back. And I posted a blog last week called Sucker for Sweets, and on the bottom I put 100 names that refined sugar is under, because I think that now the chemists in the labs have figured out all different ways and all different names to hide sugar under. So you have agave nectar, barley malt, beet sugar. I mean, it's alphabetical, and there's a lot. All different syrups, grape sugar, evaporated cane juice, high fructose corn syrup. There's a lot. No one's expecting anyone to memorize it. I definitely have not memorized it, even though I've written it, but I think reading it like once or twice just to kind of have it in the back of your mind is a great idea. So the next approach is once we're aware and once we're trying to shift to a little bit of a whole foods diet, And you want something sweet, fruit is obviously a great option. And yes, fruit has sugar in it, but it's very, very different. The glycemic load, which is the amount of sugar in a piece, the amount of sugar density is much lower. So it's not going to cause the spikes in blood sugar. It's not going to make you gain weight. Obviously, if you eat fruit all day, it's different. But a piece of fruit is a great way to have sugar. It also comes with the vitamins and the minerals and the fiber. So it's very different. If you have fruit juice, it's going to have 100 times more of the glycemic load, and you're having 100 times more of the sugar. So stick to the real fruit, not the dried, not the fruit snacks or candy or the fruit juice, just the real fruit. But again, we are humans, and we've been evolved to want a treat and to hunt for a treat and to want something delicious, and sometimes fruit isn't enough. We want a little bit of the sweetener in our coffee. We want to sweeten our breakfast, our oatmeal, when we're baking or cooking or making something, and we want it to be a piece of dessert. So sugar substitutes and alternatives do play a really, really useful role for those that are trying to still eat something sweet and enjoy dessert, not gain weight, whether it's to lose weight, to still feel healthier, because it's not just about the weight. I mean, sugar wreaks havoc on health overall, from from diabetes to cancer to so many issues. So we definitely want to avoid it. It causes headaches, it makes you exhausted, you spiral, it makes you anxious. The list can go on and on. So I think that sugar alternatives do play a really, really great role, and we'll cover them. And my gold standard, my favorite one, is organic stevia. It's made from a plant, so it's a whole food. When it's made and extracted from the plant, some of the plant's phytochemicals and nutrients stay with it as well. So you're getting some of the healthy benefits too, and it's actually been associated to lowering blood sugar. It's almost no calories. So it's actually no, it's 0 calories. So it's great because you're not going to gain weight. You are controlling your blood sugar and you're regulating it. So it's really, really great. The two negatives is that it is very intense in taste. So if you would normally use a spoon, 1 teaspoon of sugar, use a 1/4 here. And a lot of stevia is sold. When you look at it, the ingredients are often not just stevia, so you have to look to make sure that it just says organic stevia leaf. And I got this one in Whole Foods. They sell them on Amazon, but there are other ones like stevia in the raw, or Truvia or Pure Vita, and these are all not 100% stevia. They're combined with other different kinds of sugars, so you do want to stay with them. Sorry. All right, sorry guys. My iPad fell and I'm not re-saying all of this. I love you guys, but sorry. We're gonna keep this real and you're gonna bear with me because I'm not re-saying all of that. Okay, so stevia is good. Now, we have monk fruit. I hope it doesn't fall again. Very similar idea to stevia, except it's made from a whole fruit. Also comes with its minerals, vitamins, 0 calories. It's great. I think it's a matter of taste preference between stevia and monk fruit, so this is definitely something that you can try. It's even harder to find in whole, because I don't know why they really, like, on the market, it's always combined with Splenda or erythritol or something else. So I got this on Amazon, and I'll post links to everything, but this says just monk fruit extract. That's it. So they are findable. Again, you buy it once, you're not using that much of it, I hope, so it'll last you. The next thing are the natural sweeteners are maple syrup and honey, and these are much better than refined sugar for sure, but unlike the monk fruit and the stevia, they are not low in calorie, they're high in calorie. They have a high glycemic load, so if you're watching your weight and you have diabetes or you have any sort of issue, I think that these need to be used in little amounts because they are very caloric. So this is great if you want to just drizzle a little bit on your oatmeal, or you're just using a little bit, that's fine. Again, it's better than any of the refined sugars. I really like these to use for my kids. Again, not in big amounts, but they are much better alternatives than using real sugar in their baking and their pancakes in the morning. or than using agave nectar. I don't like that. So these are great. And when we bake for the whole family, I use a little bit of this in different recipes. I think that there is a great place for them. There's something called sugar alcohols, which is xylitol, erythritol. So these are in taste a lot more similar to real sugar, but they're 40% less of the glycemic load and calories. So they're actually much less glycemic load, and they're 40% less caloric. So they're still a really good alternative to refined sugar, and most people really prefer the taste of these. The problem with these is they don't get fully absorbed by your intestines, so people that have IBS or digestive issues, they can cause bloating and gas, so I would be careful not to overuse xylitol or erythritol. There's a place for it, but in moderation, and it also is, it gets extracted from a whole, from fruit, from vegetables, so it's coming from, you know, a natural source. So I think, again, it's a little bit of a taste preference and just seeing what works for your own body, because different things work for different people in different amounts. So that's basically it. Then you have the ones that are the Splenda, the Equal, the artificial sweeteners, and those are terrible for you. I'm sure a lot of people have already heard by now, but Splenda, Equal, aspartame, all of them, they, you know, have shown to cause cancer. They're 1,000 times sweeter than even real sugar, so they are like completely hijacking your taste buds. They're, you know, you eat them and then you try to eat something that's like a piece of fruit and it's gonna taste like a piece of paper. It's terrible for you. So really, really, really stay away from those. So I think that that's it. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm still navigating this video situation. So it was great to talk to everyone, and I hope that this helps. Text me if you have any questions. DM me if you have any questions, reach out. I did put this all on my website.